Game Week 5, welcome. This week we're covering key talking points, goal involvement odds, clean sheet chances, transfer trends and captaincy rankings based on predicted points and ownership. Let's begin, and first up is goal involvements. Alright, so starting off in Game Week 5, and despite the poor form, Salah still finds himself top of the goal involvement odds. And while he's not quite performing at the level we usually expect, he has still returned in 3 of the 4 games so far. He's up against an Everton side that just kept a clean sheet at home to Villa, but let's be honest, Liverpool away is a much tougher test. So yes, Salah and Ekitike are sitting right at the top of this list with 67% and 64% chances of a goal involvement. Next up we've got Gyökeres, and he's got a home tie against City, sitting at a 58% chance of either scoring or assisting. He grabbed a nice tap in after a lovely first time cross from Eze, who put it across the box perfectly for him to slot home against Forest. And yeah, it wasn't exactly a highlight reel finish, but a lot of Arsenal fans will tell you those are the things that they want to see from their striker. They've struggled with goals in recent seasons, someone who's just going to get on the end of things, and that's what Gyökeres is doing. Obviously the theme with Gyökeres is pretty clear. He looks comfortable against the weaker sides, but the real question is, can he step it up against the top teams? He'll be looking to do that against City, and interestingly the bookies, as I said, are giving him a 58% chance of scoring or assisting. Now again, Isak finds himself on the list, but this one feels more like a safety first call from the bookies. So they're just covering themselves in case he miraculously does start, but I'm pretty sure that he's not going to start. He wasn't even on the bench against Burnley, and that was a game where Liverpool could have really used him. He's been given a 58% chance as well to score, but that's if you believe he gets on the pitch against Everton. Then we've got Watkins at 55%. He only managed 0.04 XGI against Everton and didn't register a single shot on goal during the 82 minutes he was on the pitch. Honestly, it's kind of shocking how poor Villa have looked. Something's just not quite right with them. They've got Sunderland away next, and to be fair, Sunderland have looked really solid so far. If Villa struggle again, I think we're going to see a lot of managers dump in their Villa players, with Rodgers and Watkins the most likely ones to go. I'm giving Watkins one more game. Over to Wirtz, and he's another one who's struggling. He's got a 53% chance to deliver against Everton, and what a time it would be to open your account in the Merseyside derby. It's not impossible. Alright, so let's talk transfers in for Game Week 5, and topping the list right now is none other than Semenyo. He's been brought in by over 500,000 managers, and his ownership is getting close to the 40% mark. Is he the best midfielder in the game right now? He's currently top point scorer among midfielders, he's the most in form, and he's now on penalties. Honestly, my wild card can't come soon enough. But what do you think? Do you think he's the best midfielder in the game? I'm more than happy to pay the 7.5 million for him now that he's locked in on pens. That's 3 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. And yeah, it's hard to argue with that, but he does have Newcastle next, so I'm happy to go against him for one more game. Next up we got Van der Ven. He's second on the list with just over 200,000 transfers in after the goal and cleanest sheet against West Ham. Spurs are looking pretty solid, and at just 4.6 million he is a very good value. That being said, I do think Romero looks a bit more threatening going forward. He picked up an assist and probably should have had a goal too if not for the pretty dodgy refereeing call. If you're looking for a cheap defender to free up cash elsewhere, Van der Ven is a great pick. Haaland also makes the list. He scored twice against United, taking him to 5 goals in 4 games. Yeah, he's coming out of the international break in form. But, and it's a big but, he's up against the best defence in the league this week in Arsenal, so for me it's not the right time to bring him in. I'm eyeing Game Week 6 when City host Burnley. That's when I'll probably make the move. I'm undecided whether I'm going to triple captain him then or bring him in using a wild card. Then we've got Voltemade, who finds himself on the list after scoring a match winner, a header against Wolves. A great way to introduce yourself to the Geordie fans. With Wissa out long term, he's now leading the line for Newcastle and it's just 7 million. Bournemouth are away next, then they've got Arsenal, but from game week 7 onwards, the fixtures look really good. But he's definitely on my radar for the future. And finally, the Chelsea trio of Caicedo, João Pedro and Palmer. Pedro is now over 60% owned. It's really dangerous to not to own him at this point, but if his form dips, going against him could be a real differential. That move alone could seriously boost your rank if you decide to go against him. Alright, so let's take a quick look at some of the biggest transfers out ahead of game week 5. And Aït is top. He's out for 5 weeks, so it's a straight transfer out. Over 200,000 managers have transferred him out. Same story for Aina. He's out for even longer, 3 months. Another clear transfer out, but both can be moved to either Gabriel or Van Dijk, or even Lacroix, depending on your available funds. Next up, we got Ekitike, who was subbed off against Burnley after 71 minutes when Liverpool was struggling to break through. There was no injury there, but Slot was clearly looking for something a little different, which, to be fair, he eventually got with Salah scoring the winner from the spot. For what it's worth, I do think he actually starts against Everton, but if he blanks again, expect Isaac to start. Then we've got Wood showing up again. I honestly don't understand this one anymore. Back in game week 4, I got it. Arsenal away was tough and many managers chose to use their free hit. But this week, Wood is away to Burnley. It doesn't get much better. And then it's Sunderland in game week 6 as well, so it's really baffling me why he's still on my list. Saliba's in there again. He's another injury concern. However, Arteta did say yesterday during the press conference for the Bilbao tie that Saliba has trained, but it's still too soon for him, Saliba's words. So he may have a chance of starting on Sunday against City, potentially. Kudus and Richarlison round off the table, both sitting on just over 130,000 transfers out. Kudus has looked threatening but rarely comes up with actual returns, just a 0.36 XGI over 4 games, with only 2 assists, both coming in the opener against Burnley. As for Richarlison, he could start the next game. He was dropped against West Ham, but that was likely down to the long travel distance after playing for Brazil during the international break. And with Solanke out for the foreseeable future, the spot is Richarlison's to lose for now, I imagine. Okay, so moving on to clean sheets for game week 5. And right at the top, we've got Liverpool, who are at home to Everton. They've been given a 43% chance of keeping a clean sheet. The last 4 home games against Everton, Liverpool haven't conceded. It's a different story away, but these home ties have recently been shutouts. Next up, we got Villa with a 39% chance of a clean sheet. They've been really poor offensively, but they did manage to keep Everton out away from home. That said, Villa ranks second worst for XGC per appearance, 1.9 goals conceded per game. Only Burnley are worse. Fortunately, Sunderland ranked 4th worst for expected goals. Board draw anyone? Arsenal face City at the Emirates, and despite the tough fixture, thanks to their solid defensive performance this season, they're still on the board with a 35% chance of a clean sheet. Arsenal aren't top of the XGC leaderboard. That goes to Newcastle with just 0.5 goals conceded per appearance, but Arsenal are close, sitting at 0.6. And lastly, a quick shout out to Leeds, who find themselves on the board. Not often I say that, so it's worth mentioning. They're up against Wolves away, and Wolves are rock bottom for expected goals scored. Just 0.66 expected goals per game. So moving on to captaincy, and as mentioned earlier, Salah tops the predicted points for game week 5 with 7.6 points. With Everton at home, it does make sense, although Liverpool usually win these games, but they're often tight games. Will Salah be the man to make it 5 home wins in a row against Everton? He's my captain for this game week. Haaland is up against Arsenal. Arsenal have been solid, but Haaland does have an expected goal involvement of 1.7. That's more than double the next best player, which is Semenyo at just 0.6 expected goal involvement. And finally, it's a bit of a running joke now, but yeah, you'd have to be an even braver manager to throw the armband on Watkins after what we've seen over the last 4 game weeks. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Fantasy Focus. If you did find this helpful, hit that like button to support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. I'd love to hear your thoughts or see how your team's shaping up. So drop a comment below and let's talk.